Hi there. So I'm just going to go through some of my recent statuses that I've been posting on social media in the last couple of days. So something I posted yesterday and something I posted this morning. But before I look at that, I just wanted to say there might be some noise in the background. There might be some banging noise. My neighbors have moved out. The new people haven't moved in yet. And the neighbors are, now the house is empty, they are doing some kind of alteration to the house before the new people move in. Sounds like they're smashing the place to pieces, but clearly they're not doing that. So I have no idea what they are doing, but it's really loud and there's lots of banging. So if you hear that, it's the neighbors. So this is what I posted yesterday. And this is following on from healing protocols that are being delivered to people in the holistic movement who are wanting to heal in a holistic way from any situation. So what I actually wrote here was, if you have eaten the poisoned apple. So we're looking here at references to my fictional novel. As you know, in my novel, there are poisoned apples being grown in the orchard by the village. So this is all in reference to my novel. So any similarity to anything at all that is, you know, actually going on in real life, or any similarity to people, is all complete coincidence because we are discussing fiction. So here's the post. If you have eaten the poisoned apple, or if you have been drinking the toxic apple juice and you regret this decision, and or you have had reactions and you are concerned, or if you yourself are clear, so you haven't had the apple juice, but you've been around people who've been drinking the juice and eating the apples, then please check out the new healing protocol by David Wolf. So that's David Wolf. If you haven't heard of him, I'm sure you all probably have, but if you haven't, his surname is spelled W-O-L-F-E. So just Google him and you will find all his material and his website. So this new healing protocol was released yesterday, I believe, or possibly the day before, but I found it yesterday. Now, combining this protocol by David Wolf with the Black Flame Black Crystal work, this gives you a multi-leveled protocol for the spiritual and the physical bodies. David Wolf's protocol can be found on all my alternative social media platforms, or you can go straight to the source, which is Exopolitics Blogs International and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. So you can Google these things along with David Wolf if you don't want to go onto my social media platforms and see the link, or find David Wolf. He himself has his own website. He's also on Telegram. He's very active on Telegram. And then I just added, David Wolf is a true hero, and who better than he to provide this most sacred healing protocol to humanity at this time. So it's my opinion. This hasn't come from David Wolf. This is my opinion, given the information that I have been accessing spiritually and esoterically, and information from the Nine. It's my opinion that this protocol is most helpful, especially for those who haven't had the juice. It's my opinion that there is no, it's a motorbike, not the neighbors. It's my opinion that there's no guarantees with this healing protocol, because it will depend on you and your lifestyle and your thoughts and your energy and what you're already eating, you know, in your own diet, and how you live your life, basically. So there aren't any guarantees, but this is a protocol that is most helpful. And for those who do follow a healthy lifestyle and have not been drinking the juice, and you wanted to have this protocol around as a backup, should you start to feel that you may have been affected by another juice drinker. And for those who've had the juice, or for your beloved family members and dear friends that you want to help, then this protocol has been released by David Wolf. So I was very pleased to see this. Now, some of the information in this protocol I am not aware of. I'm not a nutritionist. You know, I have some nutritional knowledge, but not to the level of David Wolf, obviously. But I knew some of these things already and had heard of this. Some of the things on the protocol I had already heard from a contact I have who is in the functional medicine community in the UK. So these protocols are overlapping. I know there's information coming in from Anthony William, and there's information coming in from other doctors. But from what I've seen, this seems to be the most comprehensive protocol. And the 9 have confirmed to me that the information coming in from David Wolf on a high percentage of his material, a very high percentage, is accurate. They've also confirmed to me that Anthony William, it's the same for Anthony William. And I know that the two, David Wolf and Anthony William, present information that seems to be opposing. And the 9 are saying that's not the case, because we are looking at individualization for the person, and we are looking at an individual who is consciously working with the protocol with their own alignment and their own knowing. So it's always a good idea to combine a physical protocol with a spiritual protocol as well, and then work with those two aspects of self, which combine all aspects of self, if you will, which is why I mentioned the black flame and the black crystal work. However, if you are wanting to pass this protocol on to friends and family who are regretting their decision or who are suffering in some way and don't understand themselves about nutrition, about herbs, about botanicals, then this is a wonderful protocol to pass on. So Google what I just said and David Wolf, and yeah, I'm very pleased to be able to tell you about this. So I then went on and posted a video that came up yesterday on YouTube. The video is called Follow Your Oath. It's hosted by Dr. Loken, who I have myself done a couple of interviews with. And there's 6 or 7 doctors in this round table. And it's all about words that would mean similar to broadcasting, or, you know, if a tree was shedding its leaves, that sort of thing. And if you were sitting in a science lab with magnets everywhere. So that's the sort of topic. And so if you go over to Dr. Loken, L-O-K-E-N, his YouTube channel, you will find this video, Follow Your Oath. And I watched the whole thing, and it's fantastic. So if you are looking for information about the apple juice and, you know, following on from the same vein as the protocol for healing, and that's mentioned in here. And the 2 of the doctors that take part in this roundtable are Dr. Tenpenny and Dr. Northrup. So that's something else that I would recommend. So looking at the same sort of subject matter, but from a different angle, I posted up a status here across my social media platforms in response to several questions in the same vein. So I've had a lot of people ask this same question of me. Now, this has been touched in my book, Lessons from a Living Lemuria. It has been already discussed. In fact, it's been touched on somewhat in Black Box Program and the Rose Gold Flame as Antidote. But neither of them have touched upon the specifics of the apple juice. So I'm sort of incorporating, you know, what's occurred since those books were written, and I'm going to look at that post. So the question is, Magenta, is it possible for a high vibrational being to transmute anything that goes into their bodies? If they are truly high vibrational and connected to source, such as tobacco, alcohol, medicines, junk food, and of course, the Jezebel apple juice. So as you will know, if you've been following my material, this has been touched upon before. I've spoken about this before in my previous sort of series of videos that I've done over the last couple of weeks. This has been touched upon, and it is definitely explored with responses from the 9 in Lessons from a Living Lemuria. So here, I wrote here my hour reply, because whilst I'm talking, I'm getting information and assistance here from the 9, as you will recognize. I'm sure anyone who's followed my work can sense the difference or tell the difference between my own replies and replies that come from the 9 and those that have a mix of the 2. So this is my hour reply. Yes, this is possible. However, it is unlikely to be put to the test, as any truly high vibrational individual connected to source would not resonate or align with any of these substances. When you are truly high vibrational, then like attracts like. On the journey to the high vibrational state you speak of, which only the very few, rare few, have reached at this point, and this is not where humanity's collective consciousness is yet, then this transmutation is at best partly possible. The individual will move through an extreme sensitivity to these out of alignment substances and may find that they affect them more profoundly than they would within a more energetically dense individual. It is also important to say that all ascending individuals are on this path. And when they are on this path, they tend to move into a 0-point field where there are no limitations. Yet they do not remain permanently in that 0-point field. And when they come back into the 3rd dimensional body, see what I mean about the neighbors? It sounds like their house is falling down. Okay. Great timing here. When they come back into the 3rd dimensional body, and there was a complete crash if you heard it at the exact time that I said those words, so crashing down into the 3rd dimensional body, they still hold the belief of non-limitation. Yet that belief stands only for 5D and above and is erroneous in 3D. So whilst the answer to your question is yes, there are major caveats to process and understand before you embark on a transmutation attempt. Be aware also that artificial intelligence components and particles are specifically designed to withstand higher consciousness attempts at transmutation. They are relentless in their programmed operations and coded order and ability to replicate such. The safest and most wise option for humanity at this point is to align with substances you resonate with, and not to attempt transmutation of said substances until you know with every aspect of your being that you are capable of such mastery. When you know you are capable of such, then you will not enter into the space of said substance. A paradox indeed. Magenta, Pixie, and the 9. So let's go through this. As I said, we've touched on this before, but we will go through this anyway and just revisit this again and see if anything new sort of comes out from my analysis of this. So yes, this is possible. So the response to this is, yes, it is possible for a high vibrational being to transmute anything that goes into their bodies. It's the truth. That's the answer to that's yes. However, it's unlikely to be put to the test, as any truly high vibrational individual connected to source would not resonate or align with any of these substances. So when we, myself and the 9, have said here that it's unlikely to be put to the test, obviously this has been put to the test. I know that at one time there was an avatar in India that drank a poison just to show that he was able to transmute it and that there was no negative effect from it. So this has been put to the test from avatars and gurus and these very powerful beings, human beings that are in complete control of their body. Now, the only reason why, in that particular instant that I mentioned, this avatar in India, the only reason why he did this was to prove a point, was just to show that it can be done. But in general life, these individuals are not going to resonate with these substances. They're not going to be smoking tobacco, drinking alcohol, taking medicines, eating junk food, and they're not going to be drinking the apple juice that I discuss in the fictional novel. So there's a mismatch vibrationally between the higher vibrational individual and the substance, because when you move into a higher vibrational state, everything that comes into your reality is aligning with you on some level, which is why it's so important to do the trauma work, because if you move into a higher vibrational state with unhealed trauma, you then attach and attract to yourself a mixed vibration, which will be a match to your higher vibrational state and to the trauma. But when you've done the work and you are broadcasting this signal of clarity and purity and an open heart, you attract the like vibrational match to that, which is the next sentence here. When you are truly high vibrational, then like attracts like. That's what it means. Like attracts like. You draw to yourself that which you are. You create the reality based on the fabric that you put out and the fabric that you are. Everything becomes you and part of you. So on the journey to the high vibrational state you speak of, so that is where the collective consciousness of humanity, the awake and aware collective consciousness of humanity that the Nine call the Divine Princess Aurora, the 5D consciousness, that is where the collective is right now, on the journey to the high vibrational state. So if you look at the collective consciousness of humanity right now in we're in July now, July of 2021, we are not all ascended beings. We are not all avatars. We are not all these highly evolved, self-realized God aspect gurus or priests or monks, whatever name you want to give to these beings, indigenous people, these individuals are everywhere. They're not any particular sort of stream of individual or community. They're everywhere. But they are the rare few. The majority consciousness, fifth dimensional consciousness, the collective that's ascending is ascending, not ascended. And there's an overlap between the two, because when you are in the fifth dimensional state and above, you are ascended. And when you are in the third dimensional state, you are ascending, because you have been to the fifth dimensional state and you can access it. But right now, the collective consciousness in July 2021 are moving in and out of these states. Third dimensional, fourth dimensional, and fifth dimensional. They access all of them because they're still in a state of integration of the third dimension. If we were at a collective consciousness level where we were all purely fifth dimensional all the time, and we'd already integrated the third and the fifth dimension, then we wouldn't have the Jezebel juice in our reality in the first place. There would be no overlords. That would have been already dealt with, which is our future, of course. That is where we're going, which is why I have said here, with the Nine's help, on the journey to the high vibrational state you speak of. So that's where we are. We're on the journey to this. And only the very rare few have reached this point. And this is not where humanity's collective consciousness is yet. We're not there yet. We must be realistic about where we are in a linear reality, in a third dimensional reality. In the fifth dimension, we're all already there. But on a physical level, within the physical body, which is what we're talking about, we are integrating these states. Then this transmutation is at best partly possible. So those on the journey to this high vibrational state, at best this type of transmutation is partly possible. It is not fully possible unless you are one of these rare few that have reached this point of full self-realization. Now, I will go somewhat off topic slightly, not off topic, but outside of the analysis of this status, to say that me personally, I've always been told by the 9 that I am where the collective consciousness is. So I have the, I guess, advantage over those who aren't in a state of communication with higher dimensional beings. So I have that channeling advantage. So I'm able to make that higher dimensional sort of 12D connection, if you want to call it that. But as me, as Magenta, as a physical being, I'm where the collective is. And I am fully aware that I am not at the level of mastery where I can transmute these substances. I have trouble transmuting a packet of crisps. We call them crisps in the UK, and over in the US, they would be packet of chips. Okay, I'm exaggerating somewhat. I can eat something like that occasionally if I want to and be okay. But I'm actually serious. I notice junk food when it's in my space. I have to work at transmuting it. It's not that I can't do it. And I can just about manage. And sometimes I literally do have effects to the point where I haven't transmuted it well enough. It's going to take me 2 or 3 days to actually move this junk food substance out of my auric field, which is why I don't very often and mostly, if at all, go anywhere near this kind of substances. And when it comes to tobacco, alcohol, I never, ever go near anything like that. Now, when it comes to the Jezebel juice, the apple juice in the fictional story, I've spoken to people who've said we're powerful enough to transmute this, so that if, you know, anything happened and you were forced to take it, if you will, well, if that were me and I was someone actually sort of sat me down and forced the apple juice down my throat and forced me to drink it, which I'm not seeing in my reality, I'm not seeing in the reality of the collective, because that we're not drawing that towards us. But if that were to happen hypothetically, I would do my very best to transmute that. But I certainly know where my limitations lie in the 3rd dimensional physical self and the physical body. And I feel that I would not be able to transmute that substance. It's different when it's forced upon you, because the karma is different, and it isn't something the collective are calling to themselves. It's something that the controllers would like to do. They want to get everybody in whatever means that they can. And please be aware I am discussing the fictional novel at this point. But as I said, I would attempt transmutation should I be in that situation. And it's so hypothetical because it isn't in reality. And if you go back to the video that Cat's Magic made last year about his prophecy, Cat's Magic's prophecy, you will see how that came about, this powerful message of synchronicity that we would not be drinking this type of juice. So that was magical how it occurred, because I'd asked for a sign, and Cat's Magic didn't know I'd asked for a sign, because I'm talking to the 9 in my mind and asking them for a sign, and they confirm you will get a sign. And half an hour later, Cat's Magic comes out with this story, which is all in the video. Cat's Magic's 1982 prophecy, I think. I'm not sure. He was about 14 or 15 when this happened. So this is something that was in place before he was even 18. You know, he was a young teenager, and that set him up for now, so that we would get the synchronicity now. So I'm aware that this level of force, if you will, physical force, isn't in my reality. It's not in Cat's Magic's reality. And I know it's not in the collective's reality, the 5th dimensional ascending collective. And I've confirmed with the 9 that the sign, the synchronistic sign, is for us all. But knowing my physical body, my limitations, where I am on a physical third dimensional level, I am not powerful enough to transmute anything that goes into my body. I am not powerful enough to transmute the Jezebel juice. Now, by me making this statement, does this make me very negative, very disempowering? Am I actually confirming something within me that, and that's why I can't transmute it, because I'm saying that I can't, and I don't believe that I can? So on a third dimensional level, this is what I've said here. We have these limitations. You know, I know that if I jump off a cliff top, I am not going to be able to grow wings and fly to safety halfway down from that cliff, down into the crashing waves below. I'm not powerful enough to magic a rubber ring, you know, one of these sort of lifeboat life rings, and allow it to appear in the sea below me. Now, I may be powerful enough to manifest a boat round the corner that just so happens to come along and help me. But if I jump off a cliff to put to the test, well, I'm powerful enough to manifest a boat and I'll be saved, I'm putting myself in a silly situation. I'm putting myself in a dangerous situation. And the Jezebel juice is exactly the same. I'm not going to put it to the test. Tobacco, alcohol, all of those things. Yes, I do occasionally eat a small packet of chips, and I usually regret it afterwards, because if I was powerful enough to transmute even a packet of potato chips, of crisps, I would have no reaction. And sometimes I do have no reaction. But most of the time, I know that that junk food, that level of fat and complex carbs put together, I know that that doesn't align with me and who I am. I would much rather sit and eat something that is aligning with my system, such as apples and carrots and avocado and aloe vera juice and green tea, or decaf green tea, or whatever it is that I'm consuming. It's a match. So when I take that substance into my body, I feel the merge, I feel the communication, and I allow that merge and that communication. I don't need to transmute anything, but I have spoken about transmutation. And I spoke about transmutation regarding a woman who is in a relationship with a man, and vice versa, about somebody who's around the apple drinkers. That level of transmutation is different because you are taking it on as a second-hand level. Am I powerful enough to transmute energies from another person that's broadcasting the signal? Yes, I truly, truly am, because it's not the same. I know that I can do that. I know my transmutation ability is enough for me to be able to be around Jezebel juice drinkers within reason. But if I'm going to be living with one every day, without being derogatory, living with a person who's drunk the juice, in a relationship with a person who's drunk the juice, no, it's too much. Would I be able to transmute it? Yes, but I would be working all the time. It would be draining me. I wouldn't have the energy to do other things because my focus would be on transmutation. So why put yourself in the direct line of something you have to transmute because it's not in your vibration? Why not call to you that which is within your own vibration, such as healthy foods that I have just listed? So on the journey to the high vibrational state you speak of, which only the very rare few have reached at this point, and this is not where humanity's collective consciousness is yet. Humanity's collective consciousness is where I am. And I'm saying I'm not powerful enough to transmute something that's going into my body at the level of the Jezebel juice. Doesn't mean I may have effects, but we are talking about transmutation at the cellular level against artificial intelligence, relentless code. And again, I remind you that we are discussing a fictional novel here. We are not talking about anything that's happening in the real world. We are talking about science fiction. We're talking about, you know, robotics and artificial intelligence that doesn't exist in real life and is only in fiction. This is what we are discussing right now. So this transmutation is at best partly possible. So everyone in the collective can do this partly because they're partly ascended. They are on the journey to ascension. They are on the journey to creating their light body. But they're still integrating 3D, 4D, and 5D together. They're on the journey. They haven't arrived. And yes, when you arrive at the destination of ascension, there is yet another journey because the journey is never ending. But when you are permanently in 0 point, it is not possible for an individual to be living in society and be permanently in 0 point because you need to be in the 3rd dimension to live in society. If you lived in a cave in the Himalayan mountains somewhere, or in the beautiful Greek islands, or you know, many places across the world, in a solitary state, then you would be able to be in 0 point all the time because you aren't living in society. You are living fully in nature and fully immersed in nature. It's a different experience. And yes, there are people that do that. And yes, these are the rare few that have reached this point and they can transmute anything. So we have to know where we are with our own individual fields. We need to understand limitations within 3D and non-limitation in 5D and above. If we only link ourselves to limitation, then we are stuck in limitation in all dimensions, and we'll feel that in our life. We will manifest that in our life. But when we have the non-limitation experience and knowing in 5D, we merge them together, and that creates a reality for us that is matching who we are and what we're putting out. And that can be fun and that can be joyful, even in the middle of an attempted aeroplane takeover in an airport, when an airplane overtakes another airplane and a car overtakes another car. Take over. Even in the middle of that, we can find joy and bliss, and we can manifest a fun reality. Even whilst others are in a state of suffering, we can find compassion and we can still find fun in our reality. And if you watch any videos or interviews with 5th dimensional vibrating individuals, at some point in that interview, you'll see them laugh. You'll see them smile. Why? Because ultimately they're happy. They're happy, and they don't allow this situation to draw that down, even whilst they are able to feel and hold compassion and understand what's going on. They still have the ability to raise that joy into the higher heart, if you will. So I go on here to say, or we, the 9 and I, go on here to say, the individual will move through an extreme sensitivity to these out of alignment substances. So this is the next sort of stage of this journey. Once you move into a higher vibrational journey and you are attracting into your reality the like vibrational match, you become sensitive to things that are out of alignment with you. That's part of the learning, which is why when I eat a packet of potato chips, packet of crisps, I'm feeling it because I'm in the ultra sensitive state. EMFs and the signal from other individuals. So it's easier to transmute. I find, and I truly believe this is where the collective of humanity is at this point. When the frequency is coming in energetically through non-physical energetic pathways and thought, that's easier to transmute than something that's coming into the physical body or is really close to the physical body. So EMFs, let's say in a computer system, you can sort of step back from that and it's easier to transmute that from your sphere. EMFs in a very powerful brand new car is much harder, if not impossible, to transmute for highly sensitive individuals, because the when you start the ignition, that powerful surge is right by your heart chakra, and so that the soft tissues of the body are in direct alignment. The driver sitting in the driver's position by the steering wheel and by the gearbox is closer to the source of EMFs than the passengers in the car. Depends on the car, not always, but most of the time. Same with foods, medicines, and Jezebel juice. So if it's a second-hand receiving, if it's an energetic receiving, if it's a thought receiving, it's easier to transmute than the physical body. Because in order to transmute from the physical body has to be in optimum health, in perfect health, to align with that fifth dimensional consciousness. And that is a journey we are all on. We haven't arrived there yet. If we had, we wouldn't be having any health issues on this planet whatsoever. So we're not there, we're on the journey. We're transmuting all this through integration. It's transmutation, it is transcendence, and it's integration simultaneously, not just one on its own. The individual will move through an extreme sensitivity to these out of alignment substances and may find that they affect them more profoundly than they would within a more energetically dense individual. Now, this is true. If I gave a great big packet of crisps to someone who is not spiritually aware, not sensitive, eats junk food already, drinks lots of alcohol, they'll eat the crisps and feel nothing, just full. Like, well, they were nice, crunchy, salty crisps, yum, that's it. But when you have that higher vibrational sensitivity, you can start to feel the energy of those crisps, chips, after having just a handful, because everything you put in your sphere is seen. It's seen, it's felt. And if you are really sensitive and empathic and psychic and clairvoyant and you're a channel, you can actually see the toxicity in your field. You can feel it and you can see it. And it will manifest in all sorts of different ways. Some people might see a being. They might feel a portal open and this darker being comes in, negative entities. It might just be a sort of a buzz in their field instead of a harmonious flow. It's going to be completely different for every person. But it can be seen and felt. Some individuals are so sensitive they only have to hold a packet of chips, packet of crisps in their hand, and they can feel the energy of it instantly. That's how kinesiology works, by you tuning in on the energy of something without actually ingesting it. But as I said, when you tune in on the energy of something, it's far easier to transmute it. When you've taken it into your physical body is reacting to that substance. Transmuting that takes a level of mastery that the collective is not yet at. And it's so important to say this because I know that there are individuals out there who feel that they can drink the Jezebel juice and it's okay because I'll just transmute it afterwards because I'm powerful enough. That's ungrounded. I'm sorry, it's ungrounded. It's fluffy bunny, and you will pay the price if you think that way. And not only would you be incorrect about your level of power with the transmutation, what you would be doing is drawing karma to yourself because you're saying, I'll take it and just transmute it. That's not how this energy works. Now, if you took it and thought it was good for you, and then afterwards you woke up and realized this Jezebel juice isn't good for me, I regret taking it, and then you commit to transmutation, spirituality, detoxification, that is an aligned path. And there are certain karmic allowances made for you, if you will. But if you're fully aware of what that substance is, and you drink it anyway, because you're so powerful, you'll transmute it, you're going to come crashing down to earth with a bang. And I say that because I've been through that, not with a Jezebel juice, but with other things. Because I believed that too when I first woke up spiritually. Anyway, I have said this before, but I think it needs to be said because there are many people who think they can just transmute it. They think that they're masters and they're on the journey to becoming masters, which is different. That's where the collective is. I'm not saying that there aren't those who can do it, but most of them are living in the caves in the mountains and they wouldn't go anywhere near a Jezebel juice. So let's carry on here because we do get to this sort of paradoxical way of thinking towards the end. It's also important to say that all ascending individuals are on this path. And when they're on this path, they tend to move into a 0-point field where there are no limitations. You will. When you are 5th dimensional, you will feel that 0-point energy. There are no limitations there. Everything is possible. That's where you are all powerful. Absolutely, you are God realized when you are there, for you are God. You are that. You are everything when you are there. And you can take that energy and draw that into your body, and you're absolutely powerful enough to do it. And in that state, you can transmute anything. The issue is that you don't stay in that state when you live in society in July 2021. That's not where we are. You come back to 3D. And the minute you do, you are not in that state of 0-point field, God-realized self-transmutation. You can get back there whenever you want. That state is there for you always. But you can't exist there if you live in society in July 2021, in the middle of the car taking over another car. That isn't where we're supposed to be in July of 2021. Because there's other things going on and we have a different mission than to be in 0-point all the time. However, we must be there to anchor that energy. It's all of these. It's 3, 4, and 5. It's this multi-dimensional stream. And we must understand the laws and the rules and the limitations and the non-limitations in each dimensional state. That is integration. That is our collective lesson at this time. The more we integrate within ourselves and within our own consciousness together as a group, the more reality will become integrated. That's what's happening. Yet they do not remain permanently in that 0-point field. And when they come back into the 3rd dimensional body, into the 3rd dimensional perspective, consciousness experience, they still hold the belief of non-limitation. So these are individuals that are still holding a 5th dimensional view in a 3rd dimensional consciousness experience. So that 5th dimensional view isn't wrong. The individual who is saying to you, you can transmute anything, you are powerful enough to transmute anything, they're telling you the truth. They're not wrong. And I am not criticizing or judging anyone who is saying that because it's true. But it's true in 5D. It's true in 0-point. When you come back into the 3rd dimensional body, if you hold 5th dimensional concepts the entire time and you're not integrating those with the equally important 3rd dimensional perspectives, you are ungrounded. And you will make mistakes, if you will. Mistakes. Mistakes are not made in 5D ever, but they are made in 3D. And one of those mistakes is to take the Jezebel juice and think you are powerful enough to transmute it out of your system. Now, we now have this protocol from David Wolfe, so we can utilize that. We can utilize the black flame. We can work with all of these things. But as I said, there's no guarantee in 3D that your body, your physical body in its unique makeup will respond in a favorable way and take you into full and optimum health after taking in something that contains an AI code. I'll remind you again, we are discussing a fictional science fiction novel, and nothing that I'm saying is true for real life. Everything here is spiritual philosophy based on my novel. Okay, so yet they do not remain permanently in that 0 point field, and when they come back into the third dimensional body, they still hold the belief of non-limitation. So they're walking around thinking there are no limits. I can do anything. What, can you jump off the cliff into the sea below and survive? This is a physical body you have here. Of course there are limitations. We can't grow wings and fly. We can't walk through walls. Are we going to be able to do these things? Yes, 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 yes. When the collective is vibrating together in a fifth dimensional frequency and 0 point field permanently, but we are in linear time, and that is not July 2021. Now, in the fifth dimension, there's no time. It's not July 2021. It's all time in 5D. It's the future, it's the present, it's the past. But here in the physical linear reality, it's July the 4th, actually, when I'm recording this. It's July 4th, 2021, which is a complex energy day, but with very high vibrations in certain places, let's say. But that's a whole other issue. Right, so when they come back into the third dimensional body, they still hold the belief of non-limitation. Yet that belief stands only for 5D and above and is erroneous in 3D. It's not true in 3D. You have limitations. Know them. Know what they are. But don't dismiss fifth dimensional non-limitational consciousness, for that is what will allow you to thrive and be guided and make higher connections and ascend. But in 3D, know your limitations. Mine are, I am 90% sure that I won't transmute fully a Jezebel juice in my body. It will probably cause my physical body to cease to exist. That's how I feel. That's how strongly I feel and how strongly I know my limitations. That's not me being negative or giving myself a negative suggestion or holding lack of true belief, because I have true belief. Because I will never cease to exist in the higher reality, but I know my limitations in 5D based on the life experience that I have had, based on the way my body responds to certain things, based on things I have attempted to do with my physical body that haven't happened yet, levels of healing that aren't happening yet the way I would like them to be, but I know that they will, and I know that I'm on the path because it's linear time in 3D. It doesn't happen instantaneously in 3D, but when you have that merge, that multidimensional merge, you can access that instantaneous healing. But you need to come back into 3D and then process it. So I know it's complex. I know it's difficult to understand, but it's crucial right now to get this. If you want to live and thrive, it's crucial to get this. So whilst the answer to your question is yes, there are major caveats to process and understand before you embark on a transmutation attempt. So this is from the 9 as well as me. You know, this is a higher dimensional, multi-dimensional collective consciousness that I'm communicating with here, that are assisting me in writing this response. Be aware also that artificial intelligence components, we're talking again about a science fiction novel, and particles are specifically designed to withstand higher consciousness attempts at transmutation. Don't you think that the controllers, the state of the deep variety, don't you think they know what the ascending ones can do potentially? Their aim is to stop that level of ascension. Their aim is to stop that level of light. Now, their aim isn't going to work. The level of light and the abilities that we have as a collective is more than they know that it is. But we must also be aware of the program and the dark magic, black magic in the novel, and the attempt that's placed into the AI components within this machine in the novel. It's science fiction. So we must be aware of all of these levels. They are relentless in their programmed operations and coded order and ability to replicate such. So we're looking here at replication of a pattern. So it's not just one pattern, it replicates. Now, I understand that the David Wolf protocol specifically can break that replication. This is what I have been shown. If you follow the protocol, and some of you that, like myself, are really sensitive, respond really, really well to these natural botanicals. They are powerful healers. And that's when you can move into transmutation with the assistance of a physical botanical or other protocol or supplement or whatever it is. So if you break the replication, then you cut the code off, which will just stay in what word would I use? It would stay not in a dormant state, but it would stay in a broken state. So it can't travel anymore. It can't move anymore. It can't do any more. It can't create any more code. So that's what this protocol does. It breaks that replication. But we have here an energy that is relentless. And it's important to know that relentless is a core energy within this AI structure. It keeps coming and coming and coming and coming again and again and again, and it doesn't stop. That's what relentless means. So we have to be aware of that, as well as being aware of these multidimensional states. For us to just say, well, yes, that's relentless, but I have loads of power. I can just imagine an AI spider and just flick it with my fingers and it's gone. Yes, your imagination is powerful, and yes, these visualization exercises are truly powerful because they are flame letter codes that work on your DNA. But we need something physical for the physical body, and the best way is to stay away from the physical thing that isn't in alignment with us. The best transmutation is to not have to transmutate in the first place by staying away from the substance. That's the best way. But if you found yourself in a situation where you took a substance, then understanding that relentless nature and not believing that a 5-minute visualization is going to prevent that AI code. And I'm not saying that it's a 5-minute visualization. I know that transmutation is far more deep work than a 5-minute visualization. And of course, the core message here is, yes, it's possible. The rare few can do this. They can. But that isn't where the collective are. Might be where some of the spiritual leaders are. It's not where I am. And I'm out there sort of speaking as if I were, if you will, a spiritual leader or teacher. I don't really like that phrase, because the Nine have always told me, you're one of the people. You are not above the collective, the ascending collective. You're the same as them. That's why you're able to assist and lead, if you will, because you're the same. It's not effective to be a leader from a higher place, because people will then look at you and think, well, I can't be where you are. You're amazing, but you're far too high. You're far too far away. That's not how it's done. You lead by example. We're all leaders. This is the thing. I might be a leader, but so are you. If you're an ascending individual, you're a leader. Every single one of you are leading all the others that haven't woken up yet, that are waiting for you. And if you look at your life and you are an awakened individual, you will know what I mean, because you will be leading someone, you will be healing someone, you will be guiding someone, you will be helping someone, because that's your calling. So anyway, slightly off track there. So they are relentless in their programmed operations and coded order. So they have programmed operations. There's a code there. It's coded to do a specific thing. It has intelligence on its own, and it replicates that, kind of like a code you would put into a computer. Of course, we're looking at AI. So it is a computer code that has been designed somehow to merge with an organic host. The safest and most wise option for humanity at this point in the novel, we are discussing fiction, the safest and most wise option for humanity at this point is to align with substances you resonate with, and not to attempt transmutation of said substances, as in the ones you don't resonate with, until you know with every aspect of your being that you are capable of such mastery. And I know I am not capable of that level of mastery yet. I know I'm on the path to that. And I know that I will be capable of that someday in linear time. I know that I can access that capability now when I move into 0 point. And I know I can move into 0 point anytime I choose and access that energy and draw it down into my physical body. But I know that the level of AI relentless coded program is stronger than my ability to transmutate at this current point. When I merge with the collective, I know that our power together will break this AI code. But it's done at a collective level, in humanity, in the future, and not in July 2021, because we're still in an earlier phase of this overall play out or program on a linear level. So we have to know where we are in time, as well as where we are with our own physical body. When you know you are capable of such, so when you know that you are capable, you know with every aspect of your being that you are capable of this mastery, when you know that, then you will not enter into the space of said substance. You won't align with that. You won't enter into the space, which is why this is unlikely to be put to the test on a large level. The odd guru or avatar has done that as a form of teaching, but it's unlikely to be put to the test because when you're capable of that level of transmutation, you won't enter its space. A paradox indeed, and that's because there are paradoxes in truth, because we are in a multidimensional reality, and each dimension has a different law, different fabric, different perception, different consciousness. Now, there was something else I wrote on here in response to that same sort of subject matter, another question. Magenta, when you reach the level of mastery where you can transmute any substance you take into your body without any reaction or harm, do you just know you have reached that state? And my reply is, when I reach that level of mastery, I will let you know. So that short post is kind of letting you know in that one sentence everything I just said. I'm not at that level of mastery yet, and neither is the collective. So we have to be realistic as well as fully all-embracing all possibility. We are never-ending immortal souls. We are fully God-realized, but in the physical body, we have limitations. In July 2021, that's where we are. We're on a journey. So we see these different perspectives. So I hope that has helped, because I know it's a big one and I have received many, many comments. Now, what I'm saying here is not directed at any one person, at any one spiritual teacher. I know that there are many out there that are teaching about this level of transmutation. And what I would add to what I'm saying here is, if you are someone who has partaken of the Jezebel apple juice, or you have eaten a poisoned apple, and you have this protocol from David Wolf, and you're doing the black flame work, and if you do find that one of these spiritual teachers offers transmutation teaching, absolutely go for it. I am not saying don't follow that teaching, because it may massively help you and could be the one thing that heals you. If you've already partaken of the substance of the apple juice in the novel, what I am saying to you is, if you go into the partaking of the apple juice with the express intention to simply transmute it afterwards, that is where we have a mismatch energetically, and there will be a karmic reaction to that thought and that action, and you will have what is known as a crash down, what the 9 talked to me about as a crash down. It's because you've done something based on an ungrounded, higher dimensional perspective and brought it down and acted upon it in the physical, and life brings you down to earth with a bump to show you as a teaching tool, because you came here to learn. You came here to learn lessons, to experience these teachings. So why go through it? Why not understand this? Why not understand this? Why not process this and avoid that crash down? But if you've already partaken of the juice, do everything you can. Commit yourself fully to the healing path. Do everything you can. I just want to mention one more thing before I say goodbye. I've had people ask me, are the juice drinkers welcome in my online groups? Absolutely, 100% you are. Yes, we are talking about, people like you as potential sources of harm to us. So some of the things that are said you may not like, but it's not you per se. It's not you as a person. It's the whole agenda. It's the whole thing. And you're just one of the people standing within that thing. Yes, you are welcome in our group. Of course you are. More than you know. You are absolutely welcome. And anyone in my group that I see that is being derogatory towards you, I would not allow that kind of energy in my groups, but it's not there. I mean, I haven't seen that. The predominant individuals in my groups are awake, aware, loving, and are part of that collective I'm speaking about. You get the odd, troll in there, as you're going to get in any awake truth forum or group, because they're out there trying to sort of stop us from teaching and stop us from connecting. But yes, you're welcome. Of course you are. Absolutely. Absolutely. So for you, if you see other individuals talking about some kind of protocol that they have come up with, look and see if you resonate. And if you do, absolutely do that. If you have not partaken of the juice and you want to do those protocols to assist you with transmutation on a non-physical level, because it's only coming into your body physically secondhand, again, absolutely do that. Any healing out there from any healer, any clairvoyant, any channel, any teacher that's helping you and that's coming from the goodness of their heart, and they are. These individuals are all coming from a good place. Of course they are. So absolutely go out and do that. I'm just saying, don't go into this thinking that you have mastery and power that you actually don't have yet. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. So yeah, a bit of a controversial one, but had to be said. I have to present the information that I have been given and the teachings that I've received from the 9. It's my role, it's my job, it's my mission to do this. And if this video has triggered you or upset you, I'm very sorry, but it's my role that I must deliver what I know to be correct, accurate, and truthful. And that's all I will ever deliver to you, is what I know to be correct, accurate, and truthful. So thank you so much for listening, and I will be back again with more analysis of these statuses that I keep posting. Okay, have a lovely day. Happy 4th of July. Lots of love. Bye.